Hello and welcome to episode 5 of our Delta Green Iconoclast campaign called Operation Bonebox. Playing the Delta Green game, as I said. We are Wilderspace Gaming. I'm Andy. I'm the handler for this game. And let me take you around my players. Let's start with Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm playing Agent Khar, a deep cover CIA operative.
Nick.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm playing Agent Pink, a U.S. Air Force parajump rescue operator.
Marc.
Hi, I'm Marc. I'm playing Agent Sandman, who is Green Beret Special Forces.
B.
Hi, I'm B. I'm playing Agent Hawk, ICE Federal Agent.
Bruce.
Hi, I'm Bruce. I'm playing Agent Jones, a US Engineering Corps archaeologist.
And lastly but no means least, Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm playing Agent Farmer, who is a intelligence analyst.
With the US Navy, no less.
The ONI.
ONI, yes, that's correct. Yeah. Okay, right. So, just to refresh where we were, you had been to the Rassam household and had bluffed your way very successfully past the ISIL troops guarding it, who seemed to be guarding the outside but not entering the compound itself. You bluffed them very successfully, searched the place, worked out a few things about how various bits and pieces that you've seen on the founder video connected, like the air ducts and things like this. You gathered up various bits of information, like you figured that you really worked out that two people seem to have escaped. One was the woman the woman, the maid, and the other was one of the younger men, one of the ISIL men. You're not entirely sure who, though. You found the ID for the woman, whose name is, from memory, Shatha Hassoun. And you found her ID, so she escaped without her official ISIL ID. You also recovered some quite a large number of artifacts and books and so on. Some obsidian shards that appear to have been into sort of been possibly injured someone and so on. And lastly, the most important thing you recovered was this gigantic, quite heavy bronze amphora that appears to have had various bits of writing on it. I'm trying to remember if you've actually discovered the name of it yet.
You remember that?
Yeah, I don't remember a name.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any recollection of that
Okay.
either.
So this was the text that was carved on the outside of it. Yep. Yes, in
Yes.
Akkadian. Yeah.
It's something to do with winds of unknown to Adab.
Yeah. Now that seems to some of the tablets that you have. So you found a load of clay tablets, and those seem to belong to something called the winds of.
That's right, yeah.
Winds unknown to Adab.
That's it. Winds unknown to Adad. Yeah. Okay.
Did we find something about the Father of War, which was the shard thing?
The Father of War appears to have been the thing that was contained within the amphora.
Actually, the word Azathoth was mentioned. I don't know if that was.
There is you discovered I think it's a
dagger, wasn't it?
It's a dagger.
Oh
With
yeah.
that carved on it. Yeah. A small knife like a letter opener but razor sharp, inscribed in Arabic with a nonsense word Azathoth on it. There's also, but even though that's razor sharp, the sharpest thing of all were the some of the shards that you found, and some of which were still had sort of dried blood on them and so on. Now, you put all of this into because you'd arrived in a truck and a sort of formerly US supplied to the Iraqi army Humvee, and you'd arrived in those two vehicles. You'd loaded all the gear up in the vehicles and had then started driving back. During this, there was Agent Khar, I think it was. Yes, Agent Khar had a sort of saw a bit of a strange cat at one point that then had disappeared. You then, when you came to leave, 4 of you went in the Humvee, which I think was Pink driving with Khar, Hawk, and Jones riding in it. I think Khar was in the commander's seat, and Hawk and Jones were in the back. And then Sandman was driving the truck with Farmer in the back, and you had placed the Farmer. You placed the stopper
amphora.
Yeah, on top of the amphora,
and I used some duct tape. It didn't work.
Yeah, and it seemed to sort of well, initially it fell off, and then you duct taped it on, and then it seemed to be broken off and ripped off. And then do you remember? And I think this is only seen by
By me, I believe Sandman turned around,
yes,
saw it, and started firing as well.
Yes, yeah, and you because at one point it tried to grab you, you Farmer,
Yeah.
and sort of smashed you into the side of the amphora. Did you take some damage? I'm trying to remember.
I believe I did. Yes.
Yes. And now I just need to look back at the last few dice rolls.
Trash your AK as well by trying to drag it into the top.
It smashed his AK.
Yeah.
That was it, yeah. Now.
AKs are cheap.
Yes.
We can find another one.
Hey, no worries, I'll shoot somebody for you to get one.
Agent Sandman, did you actually make a sand check?
Yeah, that's the last roll on roll 20. Oh, hang on. Yes, I did make a sand. No, I did make a sand check as well. Yes.
I'm sure he did.
Yes, I found it. Yeah, I found it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you've both made sand checks. Okay, so that is resolved.
Yep.
How much sand has anyone lost? Has anyone reached their breaking point? I don't think anyone's anywhere close, but I just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
I think the only person who might be is Farmer.
My current SAN is 51 and my break point is 44.
Okay, so you're fine for the moment. Okay, right. So now, if I remember rightly, you heard that the Humvee was leading, and so you guys have seen the truck stop behind you, and then Pink, you're looking around, but was sort of more scanning around the area. You didn't notice what the other three in your vehicle, so Khar, Hawk, and Jones noticed, which was Sandman firing into the back of the truck from the sort of driver's compartment. Yeah.
Didn't I beat the horn and flash the lights before I pulled
up? Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. So yeah. So
we stopped, but I just didn't catch the fact that you were firing into the back of the vehicle. Everyone else did.
But you have heard gunfire from that direction. You're experienced enough airmen to know that that's where the shooting's coming from.
Yep.
So, what do we? Let's start with some actions from the four in the Humvee. You see some. Three of you see some shots. All four of you hear some shots. It was a single shot, wasn't it? It was just a single shot.
Yeah, it was an aim shot, wasn't it? Because I couldn't get a clear bead first of all, and then shot it in the arm, and it took a bit of damage and then disappeared.
Yep. Okay. So, what do you wish to do?
You talk about the Humvee.
The guys in the Humvee.
Yep. Well, I'm going to.
Sorry, just to remind you of one last thing. Apologies. You're out in the middle of the desert trying to get close
Yeah.
to your pickup point, so there is
Yep.
nothing you're aware of in your immediate vicinity.
Yeah. I'm going to immediately, as soon as we come to a stop, I'm going to hop out of the driver's seat and shout to the rest of the vehicle, set up a perimeter. I'm going to go check and see what's wrong, and then start hoofing it towards the truck.
Okay. With your AK held, I'm assuming from
Yep.
your
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Hawk Jones, because I think Chris has had to go and sort something out. What do you two want to do then?
As soon as the Humvee stops, I'll fumble at the door, get it open eventually, and sort of stumble out with my AK-47. And I will do my best to establish a perimeter. I have no idea what that really means, but I will sort of vaguely point my AK-47 in the sort of 90-degree angle between the sort of front of the bonnet of the car and the kind of my door. That'll do. So 90 degrees feels like a...
Yep. Okay.
And perimeter involves me stepping away from the vehicle, so I'll probably do about 10 feet away from the vehicle.
Okay. Chris, just to bring up speed, sorry, because you obviously had to pop off. So I'm just sorting out the. Did you hear it all, or do you want me to?
No, but I think I've got a general idea what's going on.
So Pink.
That's what I do doing characters. So
Yeah. Okay. Pink has just yelled. Just so you're aware, Pink's yelled, "Set a perimeter up. I'm going to check out what's going on," and is moving towards the truck. So, Hawk, what are you doing?
I'll sort of similar to Jones. I'll probably take the other side of the car because I'm assuming I'm on the opposite side.
Yep.
If I'm closer to the drivers, I will sort of be as close as I can to the driver's seat, just in case I need to assume control of the vehicle.
Yep.
But then just do as instructed and keep watch, and if anything starts kicking off, start shooting, I guess.
Okay.
I've got my pistol, I believe.
Okay. Khar, what are you doing?
Similar. I'm going to move to the front and cover towards the front of the mini column.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
And wait for instructions from either
Okay.
tactical people.
You're all, irrespective of anything like radios and stuff like that, you're actually all within quite easy yelling distance of between the two vehicles. I'll come back to Pink in a sec as he approaches. Right, back to the truck. So, Sandman, you've just fired your shot and you hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't remember if I said this last time, but it then disappeared back inside the amphora.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So, Farmer, Sandman, what do you wish to do?
I'm going to scrabble around trying to find the stopper.
Yep.
So I can slam it down and then lean heavily on top of it.
Okay.
I'm going to leap into the back, so I've still got the pistol out. And is it scrambable?
Hello?
Can you scramble over to.
I'm right in the middle of things. Oh, sorry, she's back.
Chris, you're not on mute.
I can't find. I don't know what she's. I'm trying to do this.
Chris, you're not on mute.
Sorry.
Chris, you're not on
That's
mute. Just so you're aware.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's right. Sorry.
Yep. So get into the back. Still got the pistol. And I presume it's fairly.
Sorry. Do you want to scramble through from the cab into the truck? You can do that.
Yeah.
Or are you actually climbing out and going round?
No, I'll scramble through.
Okay.
It's doable, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's only
Absolutely.
a low flatbed truck.
Yeah. No, it's a proper truck. It's a proper truck, but there's a big enough window at the behind that the glass has been removed on. So yeah, absolutely, you can get through. No problem.
And then what I think I'll do is go over to the top of the amphora and just put a few rounds.
Well, but by the time
by the time that's happened, I suppose Farmer might be up and about.
No, so give me
Keep them covered then.
What's,
keep them covered then as I'm coming through.
Farmer, what's your search skill? Sorry, it's not search. It'll be perception for quickly finding this.
One sec.
I don't mean perception. I mean alertness. That's what I mean. Oh,
Alertness. Alertness is 40,
right. Give me an alertness check, please.
but my search is 42.
You can roll whichever one you wish. I'll let you roll whichever one you wish.
Well, I'm going to go with. I have 52 failure.
Okay, so actually, by the time you're through, Sandman, Farmer has not yet found the stopper. So, do you want to put a couple of rounds down inside the amphora?
Oh yeah. Probably
Okay.
about
I'll
half a
actually
clip.
be I will be shouting, "Don't look in it! Don't look in it!"
Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
Bang,
that's
bang,
fine. Typical operator response. Okay, that's fine.
Right. Can I have, please? Actually, no. You're both going to be.
For a luck check.
No. You're skilled enough with a pistol. You could fire. It's because quite a sizable amphora.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was going to
there's
say,
enough
you'd never live down missing an amphora, would you, for point blank range?
Yeah.
but what is
Never
interesting
go.
though? What is interesting is that you fire 2-3 bullets. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's no sound of them hitting anything.
Oh dear.
Please, both of you, make me sand checks.
Of course.
And so it begins.
I don't like this game.
The fun and games are over.
There's
So-
plenty of sand that you could bury your head in.
Right.
That'll do.
So,
I've seen worse things than this stuff.
Sandman, that doesn't freak you out, but Farmer, you lose a point of sand.
Another point gone.
Right.
Farmer's going to be the first one.
Right. And then you fired a few rounds off, and then Farmer, you find the stopper, grab it, and stick it on. And from the sounds of it, a bodily lying across the stop of the stopper. Is that right?
Yes, I'll be lying on it with my chest,
Got you.
and actually holding it down.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
What the hell was that?
At that point, just as you say, "What the hell was that?" Pink, you reach the truck, the cab of the truck, and the cab's probably got windows open. It's got no air conditioning, so you can see through. You can see the top of the amphora with Farmer lying on top of it, and probably Sandman with his pistol ready, but pointing in a safe direction.
Yeah.
And you hear. Sorry, what was it? Who said it? Was it Sandman said it, or was it Farmer said it?
What the hell was that?
Yeah.
Something came out the amphora.
Sandman, Farmer, you good?
You
Not
don't look so
fucking good. Stop fucking around and get something to hold this fucking thing on.
Look around for it. We got ratchet straps, or
I
don't know.
think I've got paracord in my inventory.
a couple of elastic
It
bands,
doesn't work.
a couple of rubber bands.
What you have
What's
got?
going on? What you haven't done is explain what's going on to us. So you get a message from me across your comm saying, "What the
Yeah.
hell's going on back
Yeah.
there?"
Yeah.
The
I'll fill
amphora top
the.
came off.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
go for
actually, Sandman actually probably has first-hand knowledge. Probably better if Sandman
Yeah.
agrees to team.
The amphora lid came off, and
Now, before lid coming off, that's no reason to stop.
yeah, but something came out of it.
Ah,
Something put an arm out of it, and
Ah,
it's battered him. It's battered Farmer up pretty bad. He'll live.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you need medical support?
No, I think we got him covered.
Okay.
All right. Then
We need to
I
work
fall
out how to
back.
keep this stopper in.
Right.
Have we got any
Yeah.
bright ideas?
So you've got the best thing you've got is actually you come equipped to transport lots of cases and stuff like that. So I think you probably have some of those ratchet cargo strap things.
Ratchet strap.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Especially since some of it might potentially be fragile, and we don't want it shaking around a lot.
so you've probably got spares of those. So Farmer, this is little bit of an exercise for you, but all within your skills. You set up some straps to almost sort of multiple straps ratcheting over. They're also keeping the amphora still, but there's probably at least a double strap going across to hold the amphora down. Yeah.
Aren't you ex-Navy?
I can, give me rope. I can sort it out. It's not
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
big,
yeah.
but we
I was
need to
gonna
tie
say,
the fucking thing down and tie it down now.
He's probably you've already worked out a tie-down structure to probably get it on an
Yeah.
aircraft and all
Yeah.
sorts. Anyway,
Yeah,
so-
I'm not asking you for any skill checks because I think that's well within your character's capabilities.
Yeah.
Okay, so you lash that down and so on. So this will take a couple of minutes though. So all the tension I think starts to ease. Is anyone doing anything further?
what's the state of Farmer's injuries? Have you just been battered, or you
I've been
catch a claw?
I was clawed, yeah.
Well, actually, mostly what you were smashed into the side of the M4. I think most of what you got was bruising. How many hit points are you down?
4.
4.
Is it worth the first aid roll just to try and sort him out? Just see what state he's like in. Really, you probably ought to assess that.
Yep. That requires me to remember how much a first aid roll heals. But it's probably a good idea to figure that out at some point.
Hang on, I'm just going to turn the light on.
Who's on medic? Pink.
Pink, yeah. Well, I think some people
That is partially why I charged towards the truck, is because regardless of what the situation was back there, I was probably the best equipped to respond to it.
I mean, I think a number of you have got medical training, but clearly, Pink is that is his job. First aid. Right, 55.
Any assists in this game?
A sec.
1d4.
It's a stabilization check, isn't it? So yeah. What is your first aid skill, Pink?
My first aid skill is 60.
Right. I'm going to I don't think that requires a skill roll because I think you're not in a stressed situation. I think your skill is high enough. So
Okay.
I'm not sure whether
He might not be stressed.
That's what the stress.
so
Well, I mean, hey, you're not even bleeding apparently, so like,
can you
I've
roll me?
seen worse.
Well,
got a
not
flail
externally
chest.
anyway.
Can you roll me a D4, please?
Absolutely. Four and
4. So you recover 4 hit
4.
points.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
All better.
Easy come, easy go. Right.
There.
Okay.
So I'm currently trying to remember the quote from Hicks in Aliens at the moment.
Which one?
We're all gonna die.
Oh, game over, man. Game over.
man.
Game over.
What we're going to
Yeah.
use? Harsh language?
Right.
That's the one.
Right. Okay. So, is anyone want to do right? While this is going on, several of you are just to get. There is time for people to do things if you wish. I'm not sure there's anything particularly you want to do at the moment, but
I think I'm intrigued in understanding like any description of what might have come out of the amphora, because we'd kind of made the assumption that whatever was in there was out. So to find out there's something else in there, just
That's
want to kind of get a
conversation that can be had on the road.
well, no.
Oh
you,
yeah, no, for sure.
And Andy, can
we
you
want,
share that picture with me again, or is it?
not
It would be in my thing.
Okay. It's in your handouts. It
My
begins
handouts, yeah.
and
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I found it. Yeah, I got it.
Do we want another person in the back
I think so,
of
yes.
the truck? because
Incidentally,
one person.
Okay. It probably
Um,
shouldn't be me though, unfortunately, because I'm one of our drivers.
Yeah, no, I'll do
Me
it.
and
Because
Vax-
if it does
I'll do
emerge
it.
again, I'd like to see it.
Okay.
Oh,
He's going to be in the
I
back
promise to
trying
try
to take the fucking lid off.
You better fucking not be taking the
Well,
lid
for
off. I'm gonna
science,
try and
that may
find
be
some
very
epoxy.
important
I'm
for.
gonna be sitting there by the amphora with my
them.
journal, waiting.
need a pound.
Ah, yes,
You
I'm
see
ready.
what-
Miss
so-
Ski.
With a phone.
I'm gonna start going through my bag looking for some epoxy.
While Asian farmer is screaming, "Get it off me! Get it off me!" I'm sitting there sketching out a drawing of it. Hold it still! Hold it still!
You might want to invest in a
it
camera.
Ah, yes, mandibles. That seems to be its primary killing implement.
A camera is potentially not going to work, and it might not be reliable.
Do those two of you that saw it want to describe to the others what you actually saw?
On you had closest
It's-
encounter.
Two clawed fingers with an opposable thumb with a claw again, skinny, stretched out, no meat on the bones. It was just like bone and tendons. Shiny black. That's it. That's all I can remember. That's all I saw as it grabbed the front of me, tried to drag me into the bloody thing.
And very
There are
strong
some
is the other
samples.
thing to note.
There is a sample to be had on the edge of the amphora from spilt ichor.
Yes.
Right.
What is there?
Okay.
It was
Or
short.
is there?
So that will require the ideal skill is actually forensics to collect that sample. So if anyone wants to take it to, has anyone got a forensic skill?
Not my bag.
Got
I don't think so. Hang on.
I've got a feeling Hawk might.
Yeah, I have some skill in forensics. 30.
Yeah,
not-
it starts at
Market
0.
leader.
Oh,
Yeah.
fair.
Pretty decent.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
actually quite well trained.
Fair enough.
You're more than a staff.
Hawk has about her person quite a few items that look like normal, everyday, like items, but are actually filled with forensic stuff, which I think I described one of the EpiPens being empty and having gloves and pest things in them and plastic baggies and
Mhm.
whatnot. So she'll take out one of these things. So she'll go to, like, if that's been asked for, she'll go to the back of the van, and try and collect whatever she can with these sterile swabs and whatnot that I've got with me.
Okay. There is some sort of red liquid splattered, mostly on the sort of just on the side of the amphora.
Okay.
That looks remarkably like blood. Give me a forensics check, please.
Oh, I was just going to straight up ask Sandman or Farmer if they're bleeding at all. So, are you guys
Not me.
bleeding? Any cuts?
Nope.
We said that it was all from bruising,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Oh, there's no cut on you,
Yeah.
Farmer.
Yeah. No,
Right.
it's not my blood. Hang on. Check my
But I
nose.
put a round into its arm.
Right. This may actually be its blood then. So I'll do a forensics, yeah.
Can't be blasted.
And that's a success. Yeah.
Canal.
So please note
Right.
down sample of question marks blood.
All right. Send it off to the lab.
Okay. Right.
Not the hoodie.
So there's a slight repositioning. Jones is now travelling in the back of the truck, and you have to you get to your extraction point. You carry on driving, get to your extraction point by sort of early evening. You have to wait there for a couple of hours.
Time
I
has
make
passed.
sure that our IR strobes are working properly.
Yeah, they are, because you remember in the last session a helicopter sort of buzzed you, and then
Mhm. Yeah.
with clearly a very confused pilot who was
Mhm.
you suspect was
Yeah.
radioing, going, "I've got two vehicles here. Are these codes genuine? Really? Are they
Yeah,
genuine?
right.
I can't shoot them. Are you sure they're genuine? I really want to shoot them. They look like they look like
Just a
ISIL.
couple of
Why can I not
shots.
shoot them? Okay, really, I won't shoot them then. Okay."
No.
Just the
So-
light greys.
Yeah, so you got that. Sorry, Bruce, you wanted to do something?
Just trying to figure out from that description of the creature coming out of the amphora whether that, as time passes, I'll be thinking about anything in sort of historical records, like the descriptions of Akkadian demons and other
Mhm.
sort of things that might have been in the history books. Is there anything kind of gel with what was described? I know it's fairly sketchy.
Give me a hang on a sec. An I think it'll be archaeology check at -20, and you actually need a critical for something to get something, because it is
-20 is somewhat. No.
no. Okay, no. Unfortunately, no. Nice thinking, but no. Okay.
Okay. I get to roll D4 on my 1d4
Yeah, so
on my archaeology.
Yeah, so you can tick that. Yes, we'll do. I think there's some outstanding ticks. We'll do at the end of this session. Okay, but then unless anyone's got anything else, a few hours pass, and then getting on for midnight, you're contacted across the sat phone that you brought to tell you that your helicopter is inbound, and then within a few minutes you hear the low thump 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 of it's actually a Chinook helicopter, because of the vehicles you've got, and it lands. There's a couple of clearly armed special forces guys come out, set up a perimeter while you drive your vehicles on, and then they're the last back on, and it all passes without incident. And the helicopter lifts off and flies some clearly not a direct route. It's clearly flying some route to minimize risk of enemy action. And at about 2 in the morning, you land back at Kirkuk Airport, where your base is. I don't think this is a big issue, but have I shown you this map of the airbase?
I think so.
Yep.
Ooh, my system's just, there we are. And so the yellow pin is the sort of prefab building that you're in, and then obviously the green one is the main part of the airbase. Yeah. And you are you land, disembark, drive straight over. Your building is actually in a compound with an extra armed guard on it. But you by about 2:30 in the morning, you're back at your base with 2 trucks to unload. What do you wish to do?
Unload the trucks.
I
Sorry,
think
a
quick
truck to unload. Sorry.
just a quick question. The bonds, are they a way of getting your sanity back? I can't remember.
I think from memory, I think they come into play when you have a major sanity loss that affects your.
Okay, cool. So I don't have to worry about that.
When you have I think when you have a sanity loss, you can instead of losing sanity, you can project it onto your bonds in some way, so you don't take such a significant loss. But that obviously then damages your bond.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, we'll come to that as needed. Okay. Right.
In that case, I would like to request some C4, please.
We got.
If I can't have quality time with my bonds, I need C4.
Yep. I
Right.
want some. I want some.
Why?
Some serious putty.
Right. Okay. So hang on a sec. So
Yeah.
are you doing this before you've unloaded the truck?
What are you trying
Yeah,
to
I
do?
want to get.
Sorry.
So
Not on
right,
an
so
aircraft, not.
no, we're not on the aircraft. I'm not that stupid. Once we've
But
got
like as soon
the-
as we land,
once we got that amphora in situ, I want to rig up a couple of small charges around the amphora, directed inwards, not outwards, inwards, so we can blow it the fuck up if we really
Right.
desperately, truly need to.
This is your base. Yeah. Does that
Haven't
come
we
up?
got a secure storage?
Well, you have a shipping container that's been set up with access via the trailer you're in. That's as
Right.
secure storage as you have.
Right.
Is that even
Don't
big
put
enough
it
to
in
take this amphora?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's when I say a shipping container, I mean like the sort of thing that goes on
like
the
a-
back, like a
Yeah,
Oh,
I know
so
what,
that-
I know what a
like-
shipping container is. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
But so you've got this prefab building that's quite sizable, and then and can sleep 10. There's two rooms, a male and a female. One with the male's got 3 double bunks in it, the female's got 2 double bunks, and then you've got a big conference room with all kinds of sort of office gear and a small kitchenette in the corner, and then you've got 2 shipping containers set up with access via the trailer. One is a storage for mission equipment and sort of is an armory where your weapons are normally stored and so on, and then the other is empty. You could and you could set up as a lab. You could use it for storing recovered items or whatever. But so are you putting the amphora and all the cases of tablets and stuff in there, or just the amphoras with explosives around it and the tablets somewhere else? What do you wish to do?
I personally just want to put the amphora in that, so we limit. It's easy to limit access to that, and we can shut it off if we need to, and we've still got access to all of the tablets for to find out what the fuck it is.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I think you're right. We need to secure it, but we've got to make sure that whatever it is can't get out from where we are securing it into the rest of this facility we've got. There's other agents here as well. So
we can probably fabricate an iron cage or a steel cage like we saw it
Good
already
idea.
in.
Yep.
I can fabricate that. That shouldn't be a problem to fabricate.
Got a bit of A-team welding coming on.
Yeah, one last time.
It's the idea to stick this amphora by itself in the shipping container, just completely on its Todd. Andy, amongst my gear, would it be? I don't know if we have to have specified beforehand, but under like laptop and personal items and laptop stuff, could I say that I have a separate webcam?
Yeah, I think you can certainly have a webcam. Yes.
Okay. Is there a way to set
there's
up
one in
that
the office you can nick. There's one in the office you
Okay.
can. Yep.
If there's some spare, I'd like to take at least 2 webcams and put them in corners of this shipping container before we put the thing in, and have it so that we can monitor it from where we are,
Right.
without having to open the doors. Should
Good
we?
call.
Okay, your computer science skill is 50.
Mhm.
I think that's sufficient to be setting up webcams.
Pretty mundane job,
Yeah,
isn't it? Really.
Yeah. Okay. So you're setting up cabling with that and
Yes.
with cables and stuff like that to watch the amphora. Where are you going to put
Hey.
everything else but the amphora? Just in the main part,
Conference room.
in the conference room.
In
Okay.
the conference room. So
Yeah,
you can spread it
okay,
out
yeah.
over the table.
Or one.
Second,
Do
Bruce.
we have 2 shipping containers or
Yes,
one?
the other one is
We have
currently set up
three.
as an armory and mission gear, so you could put stuff in there as well. Yes,
Yeah,
or
some of
you
it will
could
end up going in
repurpose
there.
that. Second, Chris.
Some of it will end up going in there, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're just going to put the amphora and nothing else in the store, then the best place is going to be full of tablets. I mean, there's a truckload of this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So
Agent Jones, something's occurred to me. We've had access to the video that the ISIS people had made.
Yep.
Is
And
it
I have
worth
watched
looking-
through that on the aeroplane journey
Is
over.
it good enough to show how the amphora was actually sealed down before they took the stopper off?
I
Yeah,
took loads of pictures just to.
The other you, yeah.
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 Yeah,
So
that's a
I
good shout.
deliberately made sure that I
And
got all the pictures of it before we even touched it.
and I'll have been reading the diaries as well.
right. Well, we'll come to the diaries in a sec. But
But
from
I'm
the
just from that point of view of the amphora and whether
Yeah,
there
yeah,
was anything there plus the other material.
okay, so the seal was it was actually fixed in, and that required a little bit of levering, but nothing particularly excessive. I mean, one of the ISIL guys with a bayonet eased it out. Yeah. There wasn't the cage was around the amphora, but the cage wasn't involved in keeping the stopper in the top of the amphora.
Well, at least physically.
Physically, yeah.
But it kept anything contained within that cage should it have come off, apart from the obsidian shards, obviously.
Yeah.
The gaps how big were the gaps in
maybe
the cage, Andy? Were they big or?
Yeah, they're sort of that sort of square gaps.
So the creature that Agent Farmer saw wouldn't have fit through that.
Might have. It's the arm that was seen.
probably could.
Yeah.
Probably
But
more about the material that the cage was made of, suppressing whatever it is from manifesting.
Remember that the stopper has something that Sloane described as the elder sign on the inside.
Symbol of warding, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Power.
Symbol of warding.
Yeah. So it just pushed that off.
So
Didn't
it's
it?
not got that sign on it anymore?
No,
Has
the
anyone
sign's
checked?
still on it. Oh, is it? Yes, very good point.
Would Sloane have given us or handed over to us a replica?
Well, Sloane, you asked Sloane to look at.
Oh, did
We
he
probably
not
ought to
hand
debrief
it?
the other agents here as well.
Yeah, the other guy was what was his name? Gwyn, wasn't it?
Colonel Gwyn.
Colonel
Yeah.
Gwyn. He's the person who was instructed to give it to you. He, unless he's lying to you, he gave you the stopper that was recovered by Sloane, and Sloane passed it. Sloane recovered it, and then gave it to Gwyn when he sort of made himself known to your version of Delta Green.
Well, maybe it's worth sending a call to Colonel Gwyn, or even I think he's probably the right person as the main mission handler, to say the stopper came off and something came out. So how are we going to seal it? We're not going to ship this on board a C-17 and bring it back to Europe somewhere, are we?
So do you want to make that call? And so also,
Yeah, I think so.
so okay, so are you okay? So you're going to phone Gwyn. Farmer, you want to get hold of some plastic explosives. You're on a military base. Can you make me an explosives check at +20?
Okay.
Don't crit
Fine.
fail.
Demolitions, yeah?
Yeah, demolitions at +20.
Plus 20.
Okay, yep. You get 4
I don't need a
blocks.
lot.
Well, you get 4
I don't need a
blocks.
lot.
You get 4 blocks of
Oh,
C4.
okay.
Never say no to an
Yeah,
extra
hold
block
on
or
to
two
No.
of
that. We'll use
C4.
that later.
And just to remind you as
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
you also have a thermite charge in a briefcase. I'm not sure that's
Yes, I have.
necessarily relevant, but just to remind you, you still have that as well.
Yeah.
Right. So Sandman is going to call Gwyn. Jones is starting to go through the diaries and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Well, I'll help unload.
Well, yeah. So you spend a few hours unloading. Sorry, a few. It would be sort of 20, 30 minutes unloading. Right. So where are we? Right. So you've got the all. Do you remember there were a whole load of the all right. Rassam, what you've actually got is Rassam's journals. Okay. And right. Bruce, please can you make me what is your Aramaic skill? Actually, hang on a sec, sorry.
Aramaic or Akkadian? I don't have Aramaic.
Sorry, it's Arcadian.
I do. I can. Oh, okay.
Sorry. I've got myself confused here. Apologies. The journals are written in Aramaic. Apologies. The tablets are written in Arcadian. Sorry. So
I'll try and tackle the tablets in that case.
sorry. So who's got the Aramaic?
Well, I've got Aramaic.
Yeah. So the journals are in
both.
Aramaic.
Oh, right. I'll start tackling the journals in that case.
Yeah. What's your Aramaic skill?
50.
50. Okay.
We've got computers and things in there, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
plenty
In
of
that
them.
case, I'll type a translation into a Word document.
Okay. Right. So these are Rassan's journals, and the most recent stuff describes his plan to smuggle the father of war out of the country. The very last words are the Americans must not fail. Right. Now. It's going to take a bit of time to read these because there's quite a lot of journals.
Okay.
Um,
I'll also suggest to our other staff in here that getting a hook into news feeds from within the town would be a very useful thing to do as well.
that's already been done.
Good, okay.
Right. So, Agent Jones, are you going to focus on the tablets then? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So you start
Well,
looking.
anything written in Arcadian.
Yep. That's the thing that's written in Arcadian. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. With the all right, okay, sorry. Both of those are quite extended tasks to start reading these and so on. So I mean, you're starting it, but that's both of those going to take quite a while. Okay.
After I set up the C4, I want to start building a cage.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Start doing that. Material can be obtained to that. That's just a question of time. You've got the skills to do that. That's
Yeah.
absolutely fine. Okay, Pink, is there anything you wish to do?
Yeah, I'll be down checking all the gear, all the guns that we brought back, everything like that. Down checking it, inventorying, doing all that stuff.
Yep. Okay. And then Hawk, is there anything further you're doing after you've set up the cameras? Are you watching them?
Setting up the computers, so my laptop and another laptop, so it's not just the one.
Yeah.
So that it monitors 24 hours the stream. I'll set it up so that if there's any, if possible, if I could set up like an alert system, catching any movement, it will maybe make a chime or something. Nothing too complex.
Could perhaps be a bit more prosaic and maybe just, if it's they're standing it upright in a frame, maybe sort of put a coin on top of it or something that'll make a noise when it falls. Or a tripwire, a wire that runs to the
all of the options, I
Yes.
think, is a good idea.
Certainly.
Definitely having that as well, just in case technology
bad
fails
idea.
us, because it
And-
happens.
And have you set up cargo straps again to the ratchet straps to keep the stopper on?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Actually, I've had an idea. Going from I'm going to turn to Jones to this. So, what was a common glue type thing? Are we talking pitch? Are we talking tar? What do you think the makers of this would have used to glue that stopper in place?
Some sort of pine glue would have been available to them. I'd guess maybe some sort of animal glue if you've got a lot of farmed animals products being
tar is
being
also a
made, but
possibility.
tar is a possibility, but pine pitch is pretty potent glue.
Pine in the desert? Yeah, desert
Well,
pine. Yeah.
Desert pines?
Yeah, desert pines. That's true. Okay, so
sorry.
would-
The question, was the question for the modern day or the people back in Akkadian days? Because it wasn't a desert.
back in the Arcadian days.
Yeah, it was a bit more fertile back then. So yeah.
Okay. Right. That's fine. Right. So stupid things. I know we've got better glues nowadays, but
That's what you're thinking.
is it worth getting some like original or close to the original glue? Could that be a thing? I don't know if it's like a symbiotic symbology type thing.
Ellie, do we think the steel, or was it steel or iron? Was there some sort of?
The cage was iron, I think, from memory.
Yeah, so that's a slightly unusual substance to build something out of these days.
Iron cage bolted to the concrete floor.
I wonder if it'd be worth taking that idea and putting iron filings in the glue or something, just to kind of, take a punt.
Okay. So modern glue mixed with iron filings. Do you reckon that'll be okay?
Bit of no nails, although we're not getting it open if we want to.
Yeah, so something we can use just to keep it down, mixed with iron filings. So we had nothing too serious, but just something that can be used.
Okay.
Actually,
like
tar would be a good thing because they'd have tar for like repairing the runways.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You
So
could
tar mixed with some iron filings.
Okay.
Can we set like an armored vehicle or something on top of it to keep the lid on, like something really seriously made of a lot of iron, you know?
I'll just check my driving capabilities. Just a second. Just a second.
Right.
I think that's doable.
Agent Sandman,
Or-
you make a phone call to Colonel Gwyn. Sandman, what have you got to report?
Well, we've recovered the amphora. We've recovered the tablets. No losses in the mission. We've done it quietly. So
Good,
mission
well done.
accomplished. However, the stopper you gave us doesn't seem to work very well, since it was placed in the top of the amphora, and during the transport back, something tried to get out from the void within. Plus, we'd also like to know why there's a void within this amphora. What is it we're dealing with here?
I didn't know there was a void within. That is more than I knew. From what Sloane explained about the Elder Sign, has the hypergeometry been damaged when it was removed? Is it still effective?
How can we tell? We don't even know what the thing's supposed to look like. Do you?
No. Much as I hate to say it,
Sloane's still alive.
I'm going to connect you to Sloane, yes.
See? Boy's got good ideas, me.
Yes. He says, I'll call you back in 5 minutes.
I'll be here waiting.
And in 5 minutes, he calls you back, and it's that classic. He's on
Before the 5 minutes up,
yeah.
I'll gather a few others just because it's worth listening.
Yeah. Okay.
Track down Jonesy and well, actually, whoever's around. So gather.
I think you're all. No one said I'm going to go and get some sleep. So I think you're all. It's probably about
There's too
4.
much to do.
It's probably about 4 o'clock in the morning. Farmer at the middle of the night has managed to obtain plastic explosives and set it up. But it's a military base. That sort of thing. Yeah, it's sort of like I need some breaching
24
charges
hours.
now. Yeah. Jones and Khar have got things to read, so they are. So I think everyone could be around. But it's that classic thing of it's a sat phone put on speaker, and Gwyn says, "I'm with Sloane now. Go ahead, Sandman." Just to be clear, are you alone? Are you with the rest of the team at the moment?
The team's here. We're
Okay.
assembled, but we're in the room by ourselves.
I'm assuming it's a secure location. Okay.
Good enough. Look outside the window.
Give me a second. I want to start pulling out some of the stuff in my gear, so we can actually start scrambling, because I know this is not a hardened location.
No, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Do what you need to do, farmer.
Yep.
That-
So I've got the equipment to do it.
Okay.
Okay, so when we're good to go, we had a transport issue with the amphora, which you picked up, and the Elder Sign stopper, which you've described to us, was literally pushed off by something within the amphora, which then we repelled and went back inside the amphora. So we're a little confused why that damn thing didn't work.
Sloane says it must not be working. It must not have its magic anymore.
So how do you turn it back on? We got batteries for this?
I am no expert, but I imagine you need to make a new one.
Make a new one.
Just check out the 7-Eleven.
So,
Can I look through the
making it and carving it, that is relatively easy. But how do you do this magic, hypergeometry, all the rest of it. How does that work?
You've got to find someone who can cast the Elder Sign ritual.
You got anybody? Any names?
No, not who's alive, not who's sane.
Oh, we can deal with the second one.
No.
Okay.
Where do we find the information to do it?
I don't know. I don't know. And he sort of that there appears to be so, though it's a pure phone call. You can imagine he is turning and looking at Gwyn, and Gwyn says, "I can make some inquiries, but I can't."
Is he going like this, silently?
Gwyn says,
Pull your team out, Gorman.
I will make some inquiries, but I do not have someone on hand who can do that piece of hypergeometry.
Do you want to start making some inquiries? Because if we have this on base and things start coming out, that ain't going to look good.
No. Okay.
I'll leave that with you.
Yes. Okay. Click.
Well, that's an interesting phone call.
Right.
I want to hit the hay. I am absolutely
Yeah.
jacked.
Bit of shut eye. Bit of food and then shut eye.
Right.
Maybe track down a beer or two.
Okay. Well, there's I've forgotten the name of the other. Agent Vanguard has got a couple of beers in the fridge.
Sure. Hopefully, won't mind sharing.
Yeah. And Agents Juliet and Steward produce a couple of bottles of wine.
Okay.
Right. Oh, sorry, no, not that. Right. You start. Sorry, is anyone doing anything else that night, or is everyone else just crashing out and getting some sleep?
I think so, yeah. We're going to get all these journals done in one evening.
Do you know what the journals may even say how to make an elder sign?
Yeah.
Nothing yet. I think so.
Hawk's gonna transfer all those pictures onto just another stick drive.
Yep.
And make sure that it's labeled correctly so that anybody that needs to look at it has access to it. So there's 2 copies. And the other thing she's going to do is put the piece of blood, the forensic bit that she did, in a tub inside the fridge for the time being until.
What are you labelling that
until
tub?
she slept.
What?
Don't fucking touch it.
But danger.
And then danger, yeah. Don't fucking touch. No, seriously, don't fucking touch. And then like a picture of a scary face on it with teeth. In like quite a childish style circle stick man drawing. And then she's gonna crash out. Get some sleep. She'll let people know, hey, there's a sample in the fridge. Don't touch it until I've had a chance to go over the. In fact, I'd quickly ask who else has any kind of science skill to look that over. Like anyone amongst us have any sort of science skill to actually develop that, or like to investigate that piece of forensics.
No, computer and military stuff.
What would
That's
Munda,
it.
Andy? Like,
Probably.
also,
Possibly science biology, but seeing as it may not be
Yeah.
human, not entirely. There would be more
Could I
determining what
do
it
it?
isn't.
Yeah. Could I do it under forensics, or
Uh,
would that
Yeah,
be
you can
right?
use your forensics to carry on investigating it further, or you may
I'll do it
maybe
after I've slept.
you may need to try and recruit some kind of additional expertise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay. Following day. It's now the 4th of April. The morning of the 4th of April. Well, you lot are up quite late. Because it is definitely quite a sleeping in morning, I would say.
No, I don't think so.
You're up bright and early, right? So,
Minimal amount of sleep and then
Oh,
back up.
before
so
going to
back to it.
yeah, make sure the
Sounds very
weapon's
strong
been
coffee.
cleaned down as well,
Pink's sorted all that out.
desanded, all that
Yep.
sort of stuff.
Pink did all of that.
Drone
Right.
kit.
Okay.
Good
Uh,
man.
Okay. So it's Monday. So you're up bright and early looking at the bits on
Yeah.
minimal sleep. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's start first of all with the tablets. So the winds unknown to Adad, Agent Jones, studying them. Yeah, it's going to take a while to do. But first of all, it's almost sort of a cataloguing operation. What you have are hundreds and hundreds of clay tablets. Yeah.
If you need me to help with that, I can help with that. If you need
Well,
assistance.
you're looking at the journal.
Yes, I know. But if you need me to break away from it,
I need
probably somebody with camera skills, well, not camera skills, but maybe somebody with some computer skills to basically just take a photo of each tablet, document that in case they get broken, and then we'll start ordering them and start an indexing system.
Right. The first thing you notice is that there has already been a degree of ordering attempted of them. They have labels put on, written in Arabic. Okay. And very quickly it becomes clear that the set is incomplete. Not like you've mislaid some or forgotten some or something like that. It appears Rassam had an incomplete set in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll pass that on to Agent Khar as well. As soon as I realise that, there may be some information in the journals.
Right. So, the journals, Agent Khar, the journals, they are extensive. Just sort of cataloguing them, there is at least one volume for every year between 1943 and 2016. Okay, all of them written in a scribbly handwritten in Aramaic. Okay, always the same hand, but as he's getting older, it's clearly getting more and more spidery. Do you wish, essentially, you can sit there and study them from start to finish, and it will take a long time, or you could delve into them on specific questions, and it will take less time. What do you wish to do?
start up by skimming them, taking a look at some individual entry to get a picture of what was going on in each diary, I suppose. Do we have specific questions? Yeah, when did you get hold of this thing and where did it come from?
Right.
And anyone's got any ideas or questions, please pitch them out, because I'm thinking of
Any
questions I can
locations
think of.
mentioned?
Where did he get it? When did he get it? And where did it come from? And when did he get it? Does he have any idea where the remaining tablets are? Seeing as we just discovered that set's incomplete. What are the tablets for? Does he know how to make an elder sign?
Right.
Those will do to start with. I don't know how many days it takes to answer each question.
All right. Okay.
Also, does he know anybody who could make the Elder Sign?
Yes,
So contacts.
Right.
that was sort of one of my questions.
Right. One thing you gain quickly, he refers to the amphora as the throne of blood.
Okay.
Okay.
So edgy.
Feels like he was pitching a movie as he was writing his journals. A TV series, actually, with that many journals.
Yes.
Right.
Maybe a novel series.
Okay. Give me a search check, please, Agent Khar.
Search.
Search.
Oh, okay. Oh, this isn't going to go well.
He didn't be very enthusiastic about that.
That was Signet.
What? Oh, sorry, I missed.
And it's such a shame
I
because it
can
was
roll the
5%.
5.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Actually, forget what is your skill in search?
20.
20.
Not very good.
But that therefore is a success.
Or I can, yeah, okay, I can
Well,
reroll it if you
no,
want.
because it was a dice roll. Yeah, I will accept that. It was a dice roll. Okay. So, you pick out 2 things at this stage, and this is taking you the whole day flicking through to find these, not necessarily to do anything more than just find these bits of information in there. Okay.
So going through the whole thing might make some sense.
Um,
Let's get these 2 questions answered first.
Firstly, regarding the winds unknown to Adad, they there were tablets stored in the Iraq Museum, though that he is fairly certain have been lost in the fighting with ISIL. There, he does. There's correspondence going on before the ISIL invasion from several years ago. Correspondence with the British Museum, who appear to also have an incomplete set of tablets.
How many tablets have we got, actually? Have you managed to count them yet?
You have 283 tablets.
Or how many they think? How many they think the British Museum have got?
How many there might be in total?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to assess.
Because there might be an overlap. It might be a duplicate incomplete set.
Yeah, just like football cards.
Yeah.
Got one.
Would you like
already
to play
got this one.
Swapsies?
Got this one. Swaps.
Swaps, yep.
He believes
The
he
source
Great
of all
elder
the
son.
disturbance for the evening is now revealed.
yes.
Ah, cute disturbance is fine.
She's very cute.
It
Uh,
is very cute.
uh, there are 283 tablets he has. He does not know exactly how many are in a complete set. He believes it's approaching 400, and he actually has the number 397 written down. But from his documentation, that is a best estimate. Okay, and he knows that the many of the tablets in the British Museum are actually broken ones that people have been piecing together. He's not entirely certain how many more there are, but also, as I said, he also believes there's some in the Iraq Museum. He's not entirely sure what's happened to those, though. Actually, sorry, the Iraq Museum will be in Baghdad, so that never fell to ISIL. So actually, sorry, that's more what happened to it during the invasion to overthrow Saddam Hussein, whether it was damaged there. Okay.
You would have thought if they hadn't been damaged, that he would have been able to have seen them, given the amount of time and effort that he would have spent.
It's clear he wanted to go and see them, but was not prepared to leave the Throne of Blood unattended.
Okay.
Okay, the other thing that you pull out from the journal, because you specifically looked for this, is that he has recorded in it a number of rituals, one of which is called the Elder Sign.
Oh, right.
And
One of that.
sorry?
Form everyone of that space. And what other ones? There might say a number of rituals, plural.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another one, there's he appears to have marked in particular, I think it's just two. One is the Elder Sign, and another is something called Clear the Path, which it appears
Have used to clear the sand, I reckon.
yes, exactly. He appeared to use to clear the sand.
Ah, right.
Okay. That takes you all day.
I've identified these two rituals.
You've identified where they are in the text.
Right,
You've not yet started to study.
Oh, God, no. God, no, not yet.
Okay, and they will be.
However, team is that. I think that's probably a priority, right? Or not? What do you think?
100% priority.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and Chris, sorry, one last thing. Make me a sand check, please.
Mhm. There it is.
My sound is so great to start with. There you go.
That's helpful. Our interpreter goes mad.
You don't lose any sand at the moment.
Sometimes it's the best way.
Bruce, just a little bit more from the tablets and the more
Excuse me,
just
I'll
your
follow
character's knowledge.
Pulling off from that. Let's go step away for 5 minutes. Sorry about
Yeah,
this.
sure. Yeah. Adad is the chief Assyrian storm god. And just from the bits, so as you're looking at them, it's clear from this is with the studying. This is just sort of glancing at it. The author or authors of these tablets seem to regard the entities that the tablets are about as unwholesome, which is quite interesting, seeing as the Assyrians were hardly known for their gentleness. They were quite a bloodthirsty people. Okay,
Did you see Syrian or Sumerian?
Assyrian,
Syrian, not Sumerian.
Ace.
Okay.
Asyrian.
I
But-
think at some point, Andy, there has to be a call to London in my future.
To the British Museum.
I think so.
Okay, but that's taken the two of you all of that day. Okay, those bits of study, and then what do the other four of you want to do during that day? Rest up is absolutely fine if you want to.
No, I've got plenty to do. I just want to see if anyone else is going to go first.
I'll go for
I
it.
wanted to check out that sample.
Yep.
Sort of probably take someone with me, so that I don't get like infected or contaminated by this, whatever it is potentially, and start acting weird.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, cool. So I'll take Sandman. We've got an area you said that was a lab, didn't you? Or
No,
somewhere.
you've put an amphora in it. That could have been turned into a
I
lab.
thought we had.
Yeah, but
We've
there's a
got
second.
sand table.
Apologies.
There's a sand table in the planning room, so you could use that.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
is that
You could put a piece of chipboard over it, and
What do you need? What do you need to do your analysis?
so? I think for just a very basic identification, to see sort of probably proteins to see what kind of creature it is, that sort of thing.
Microscopes?
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
microscopes. As
Centrifuges, all that
I'll tell you
sort
what.
of stuff.
Why don't you and me head over to the medical facility and just see what we can find over there?
I was about to say, if we can like commandeer just a space.
Okay. Do you want to go and
Some sort of private-
set up somewhere else and analyze, or do you want to go and acquire equipment and bring it back to your own base?
I think maybe a separate area would be a good idea. Otherwise,
Separate, we can just bring the sample back.
I've got an
That's
even better
the
idea.
possible
How about
thing,
we
isn't it?
I've got an even better idea. How about we requisition another container and attach it to our facility?
Well, we have to at
That's a
some
lot of
point
work.
consider this sample to be relatively dangerous.
Yeah.
Couldn't be sort of carrying it around base and all the rest of it without due
Okay.
consideration.
What I'm suggesting is that we get another shipping container and we attach it to our own little base here. We basically expand our own space so that you can fit your lab in and we can fit that.
Okay.
extra
Yeah.
storage.
Okay. So
I mean, it'll only-
Feasible, then I'll
yeah. So that's absolutely feasible. I mean, a lot of the building you're in is modular, and they just use shipping containers for sort of more secure bits because basically they're made of solid metal, whereas these walls of these modular units are not. Right. So that probably, in all honesty, drags in some of the others as well. Acquiring the shipping container, setting it up, probably
Yeah, sure.
probably might require farmers' help to just connect it all up, things like that. Yeah. So by the end of the day, you've set up a third shipping container on it and that's been kitted out as a lab. And you can have acquired. Actually, can you give me some sort of sciencey skill? So forensics
the
will
only
do.
thing I have is forensics.
Give me a forensics check then, just to see if you're able to acquire the stuff. What you could acquire it. It's more a speed.
Gotcha. Do I have any help with that because I've got help, or is it just
No, that gives you.
Is one of our NPCs some sort of person to go and grab stuff for us?
One of the NPCs is an acquisitions person that can help with that. Yes, that's a very good point. That was Agent Steward.
Steward.
She will.
She's
So-
got a strange eye.
The eye's creepy.
Yeah. Just the angle.
Yeah.
AI produced
Thought
image.
she's a very nice lady.
Well, but she's this is
An
not
AI
her. This is not her first night at the opera. To put it that way.
Oh, yes. Cool,
Uh,
cool. So the
Yeah.
fish eyes are real.
Uh,
Um,
right. But
The Innsmouth look.
right. With her assisting, I'll give you a +20 bonus.
nice, thank you. Thank God. I just made it.
Right. Okay.
That's
So
all you need.
Wow.
by the end of the day, you've managed to do your analysis. So now you can give me a forensics check to analyze it.
Okay. Is that flat? Yeah.
Yeah, that's flat, unfortunately.
Understandable. Hey, you lucky with these rolls.
Right. This sample does not correspond to any understanding you have of biology of any creature on this planet.
Can I try
Please make me a
an
sand check.
experiment?
Please make me a sand check.
Yeah, motherfucker. Okay.
Make a sand check.
Yeah.
That's so cheery. Dun, 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 dun.
We're good.
Uh, no
I'm-
sand
I'm
loss at the
quite
moment.
sane.
No sand loss at the moment.
I could have
So-
told you that.
Can I, what? That I'm quite sane, or
No, the other bit. It's not from
Oh.
anything we've ever seen before. It's
I
probably
can't
not
get
from this
that
yeah,
well.
world.
yeah, weird. Can I do a small experiment?
Yep.
With some of those iron filings that Agent Farmer has got for the use of the tar
Mhm.
adhesive.
Thinking.
I want to see how the blood reacts to in certain proximities to iron, and even mixing it into a small part of it.
Okay, you conduct various tests on it for a good hour and draw the conclusion it has absolutely no impact on the blood at all.
All right. I'll probably go and tell everybody that said it, because it's me and Sandman doing this, isn't it?
Well,
Unless,
this
I think we've got
is
whatever,
now
yeah.
you're all within calling distance because you've not gone off site.
Okay.
You've added a lab
Yeah.
onto the base. Yep.
Yeah. So
I'm
I
probably
will,
right
I will
next door in
say-
the armory shipping container anyway, so
Yep.
Probably. I'm also keeping my laptop with the live stream of the inside of the thing, like near me at all times. Like I literally, every time I move anywhere, it's coming with me. I just place
Yep.
it down, make sure it's on charge, etc.
Yep.
And then I'll just let everybody know the results of those tests. That one, the blood is like nothing we've ever seen,
So-
and two, it seems to respond nothing to iron.
You better say something, Chris.
I was just pondering the wisdom of using the internet, using a live stream. How exactly are you doing
No.
that?
Oh, sorry, not live stream, but like a
No.
direct connection.
Okay,
Just
fine.
really long
There's
cables.
hard. There's
Exactly where
hard.
You said live streamer.
No, I did say
Oh, no,
hard cables. I did say hard
Sorry.
cables.
Yeah.
Well, having said that, we could make a fair amount of money if we YouTube it, right?
Yeah.
That's the.
Yeah.
You could be the
Well,
new
yes,
influencer.
watch the creepy
No,
amphora. What's gonna crawl out next?
Right.
You'll
Okay.
never guess
Horror is
what
going to
happens
scar
next.
us today.
Okay. Is there anyone else who wants that? This is the 4th of April, Monday the 4th of April. Is anything more being done on that day? I don't think Farmer's done very much yet, or Pink.
I
probably
you know
helped with
what I want to digitize everything.
I probably
Yeah, I
helped
want
with a lot of the grunt labor on the new shipping container.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So obviously setting up all the cameras and stuff, but also I want to digitize everything as well, and then I want to see if there's a
Are you set up plastic explosives around the
the
amphora?
amphora.
Yeah.
I did that last night.
No. How much plastic explosives have you set up?
A block's what, about a kilo?
No.
Usually they're transported in 1 pound bricks, I believe.
So about half kilo. Cool. So sorry, I can do both freedom units and actual weights. So.
Yep.
Okay, so
Rub it in.
okay, no problem. I'll probably use out of those 4. I want to shape it so I can actually direct the blast inwards, and I'm not paranoid to do too much. I reckon 2 blocks should be the most that I use.
Okay.
I mean, you can do me a demolition. I can do a demolitions roll if you like.
No, we'll do the demolitions roll if it needs to go off.
It's off
Then we'll make the demolitions roll. See how it. But I mean, you
I
are
mean,
you are highly.
I've got 14 demolitions.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Can I just on a personal perspective of a bit of plastic explosive going off within inside a shipping container, which is our base? Can I just go and check that his wiring's okay without
Yeah.
touching anything?
Yeah, certainly. We
What's your demo
You
score, young man?
In the shipping container next door as well.
You
I'd
don't.
appreciate that. Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to know I'm doing this.
Yeah, that's fine. But then, basically, I want to digitize everything. So I'm probably going to spend the day just digitizing everything I can.
Okay. Okay. Are you meaning the tablets? Are you meaning the what? Sorry, where are you starting? Tablets or journals?
I'm going to start with the journals, but I'm only going to start with the journals because we know that he started getting in touch with the British Museum at a certain point. So I'm going to go from that year.
Oh,
forwards.
okay. It appears he's had correspondence with the British Museum for years. But yeah, okay.
Yeah,
On and
so
off.
when we start seeing references to
The tablets.
the throwing of blood and the tablets,
Yep.
from that year forwards, I want to start digitizing those journals first.
Okay. I believe that's 1983 onwards, but I will double check on that. Okay. Right.
Is there any news from the other NPCs about if there's any new like incidents that have been recorded?
No, there's nothing being recorded whatsoever. It's
That's what I'm going to look into.
there's not you've got that incidents list.
Yeah.
Just looking at it now.
There is nothing since the end of that. And
30th of March.
Yeah.
That was 4 days ago.
Yeah, it seems to have, and it's gone on very regularly and then stopped.
Oh.
And that is odd.
Concerning.
And they are not just checking in Mosul; they are checking in surrounding areas, an increasing surrounding area, in case somehow it's moved. But there's not no clear, nothing further on that. Okay. Now, it's come to the end of the day. It's getting on mid-evening. Are you all just going to crash out and sleep? Are you actually having someone awake at all times watching a computer screen? How's it going to work?
I think somebody should be awake all the time.
Need to set a watch to keep an eye on this
Yeah.
thing in case it does
Yeah.
ping open. We've got to react to it.
100%.
And now would be a good time to phone England anyway.
Okay. So, you want to? Sorry. So, Bruce, you want to phone England?
Yeah, it'd be useful to get a kind of summary of the interactions that went on with the British Museum already, so people that he spoke to and all the rest of it. But I'm just going to phone up my old professor there, and
What's his name?
big questions like that.
How dare you? questions.
Like I could have seen that one coming.
You think of that. I'm trying to find something in the book. Bear with me a sec.
Yeah.
I'm being.
Your request is important to us.
Ugh.
Please hold for an
Yeah,
available
please hold. Your
GM.
request is important to us. I probably won't have actually given him a name. Oh, right, yeah. Michael Godson.
I knew it was somewhere in your background. I couldn't remember it. Right.
We also
Actually, to be
worry
fair,
about
that's the Oxford University professor.
Yeah.
But the link is probably still valid.
So, sorry, he will have
Or not
connections.
exclusive.
He will have connections to the British Museum. He doesn't.
So I worked there, but he was a bond of mine. I worked there, so I will have other connections, but I haven't named them in the background.
Okay. So you want to call someone at the British Museum?
Yep. There's probably a number of people that I worked with.
Yep.
Maybe a supervisor, people that I would have made friends with. I mean, I can come up with a random name, but if there's somebody, and maybe cross-link that with any of the information in the journal to see if anybody who he was in contact with I knew while I was there or still know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to find a sensible, non-cold call kind of way of getting some information.
Right. First of all, give me a bureaucracy check to get to.
God. Okay, fair enough. Any bonuses or negatives?
You worked there. You have a plus 20 bonus. Right. You you chat to an old friend of yours about the collection of tablets that's known as the Winds Unknown to Adad. And your friend doesn't know them particularly well themselves, but they do know that a very eminent professor of Mesopotamian archaeology, actually from the University of Cambridge, so a definite rival, clearly, called Emmeline Hale. Your friend does know that she is the expert on the British Museum's collection of tablets of Winds Unknown to Adad. As I say, your friend doesn't know very much apart from it's. I mean, Emmeline is quite. I mean, she's. Your friend's comment is, I'm not entirely sure how old she is, but she's definitely retired. She's retired. It's one of those you wouldn't ask.
It's definitely only an internet search away, a little bit of research and
She's
sort of rootling around.
Yeah, she's a very eminent professor in her field who most people have never heard of. Yeah, she's an expert. She's 70-year-old lady, and she you gather from your friend, not from any internet searching, that she has spent a number of years trying to put together the broken fragments and trying to understand what they are.
We definitely have to have a conversation with her and announce that we've got 283 tablets that might fill in some blanks. Would you like to swap notes?
Your friend says, I will try and, well, I can give you an email address now.
No, that'd be really
But if
useful.
you want me to try and organise an introduction, that will take me a bit more time.
I think so, especially, I know professors, and I think just having the correct credentials and introductions could go a long way to actually having a decent conversation rather than a terse, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Now, I'm assuming, obviously, you've gone off into a private area to have this conversation because you're using your real name when you're introducing yourself and so on. Or are you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Because I'm going to need to lean on those credentials to get access.
Okay. So your friend says I'll arrange. I'll arrange that. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. Just going back to the. There's also said there's some in the Iraq Museum.
Yep.
So that I said something slightly incorrect earlier on. That's never been damaged by ISIL. It's in the Iraq Museum is in Baghdad.
Yep. Did they mysteriously go missing at some point and find their way into this collection?
Right, hang on a sec. You know that the Iraqi Museum holds thousands of clay tablets excavated from the city of Nineveh, which is where you are. Nineveh is what becomes Mosul. So you're not there, but that's, yeah. Unfortunately, gangs of criminals looted the repository of clay tablets along with the rest of the museum in April 2003. So when Saddam Hussein fell. Since then, there's been a global effort that has been ongoing to return upwards of the 15,000 catalogued items that were removed. So the Baghdad Museum is missing stuff that it had, and what's there is a cataloguing mess.
Are any of these tablets stamped with property of the Baghdad Museum, or sort of like stickers on them with
no, and from what Khar has figured out, he's had these tablets for quite a long time, I think.
All right, so predating that.
I believe so, yes.
All
right.
So are we going to do some eBay searches?
2/3 of about 10,000 of the stolen artifacts have been tracked down by the FBI, UNESCO, and bizarrely the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. And U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. So another branch of what Agent Hawk works for. Yep.
Nice.
And they've been returned to the museum. However, as I say, none of it's on public display, and much of it still needs recataloguing. So stuff's been recovered.
There's still 5,000 pieces that are still missing then?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So that's just a bit more background, right? Okay. Anyone doing anything else that night? And how are you setting up guard duties and stuff like that, or sentry duties, whatever?
Well, there's 6,
That
but
happen?
probably need to do an outreach or something.
I was going to have a look at the reports of missing people and injured people up to the 30th of March, and just see if there's a pattern for how the thing is moving around.
There is a
and
map.
Also, why some people are going. I know I've looked at the map as well. So there doesn't appear to be anything that I can see, but it might be worth a sort of a military intelligence role, which is beyond the wit of myself personally.
Is Sandman doing this out sort of in the open?
Well, I mean,
Like,
while you're analysing bits and
obvious.
pieces, I'll be sort of twiddling my
Alright.
thumbs otherwise.
Yeah,
Might
no
be a
worries.
good use of my
If I'm
time.
busy, then
I know. Just
Unless
if
I have to
you've got time to contribute to cooperate on it, absolutely.
because I've actually done a hard
bounce
copy,
ideas off you.
actually looking,
If you just
tying all the bits together.
show that
Yeah,
again.
I've
Yeah.
you can't see
Okay.
it, but I've
Yeah.
done a spider graph of where they went in what order, and it's complete random.
Yeah, and who
Um,
went missing and whatnot.
Yeah, it's literally one place across to another, like really all over the shop. There's no pattern to it. Doesn't seemingly make a pattern.
What does it
That's
make an
what I've
elder
seen.
sign?
Doesn't make an
I don't
elder
know what the
sign,
elder
but
sign looks like. So
have a look at the top
Um,
of the stop.
Could you scan that or take a photograph of it, send it to Andy so I can put it on here? We can start do things like makeup, an evidence board and things like that.
There's
Good idea.
11 missing
I will do
people
that
as
after
well.
the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just didn't
Yeah.
know. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Does Agent Jones relay any of his information, or is that
It'll be probably a little bit late. People might have already headed to bed, but he'll certainly do it in the morning, if and when we survive the night.
because if we're looking over the sheet of missing people and the subject of those tablets coming from Nineveh, the last location on the incidents list, everything stops at Nineveh, the demolished ruins of Nineveh. And currently,
Makes sense.
the district is empty as far as we're aware. As Al-Dalwa, the ISIL counterintelligence head, Ahmed Al-Jabiri,
Yep.
the head of Amin Al-Dawa, has completely cleared the area. That was 4 days ago. We might be running out of time if we want to perhaps think about if that's a place that we want to go to and how to get there, etc.
But he
Is
might
it
have pulled the similar kind of situation that he did to the house, which is basically just form a perimeter and don't go in.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Agent Khar is the one who's got the local contacts, is that correct?
Yeah.
It might be worth you canvassing those contacts to see what rumours and stuff you've got about what's happening in that area then.
Nineveh.
Yeah.
The ruins of Nineveh
Okay.
specifically.
What first? And yeah, I could consider doing that in fine morning. But more to the point, I think I already asked if our ground crew, so to speak, had hooks into sort of local intelligence and intelligence and news networks. So see if we can find anything out from them first.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
has anyone got any hooks into the black market as well?
Almost certainly, yeah.
You are aware, Agent Carr, that your connections with people in the region are probably. You may not know. You didn't operate in Mosul, but you know people who know people in Mosul. So you can probably, through your old contacts, through your old false identity, obtain leads of people to talk to about things like black market and so on. Okay. What I thought you asked your support guys to do was to keep an eye on news channels. So
It was, but I think whatever they've got going, if they've got anything in that area,
I mean, they are dialed into. They are getting reports of anything that seems at all interesting from the CIA operations. Because bear in mind, you're posing as a CIA team. They're gaining reports on any interesting CIA reports, and then are passing those, and then essentially they go through those, and anything that they deem interesting, they will share with the rest of you. But that is what particularly Agent, I forgot the name, Agent Juliet is doing. She's doing that a lot. Right. at about midnight, Agent Vanguard is still up, keeping Agent Vanguard is still up keeping watch. But who else is on watch with Agent Vanguard?
We need more than one person on watch.
Probably a good
Probably not.
idea, just so that if
Yeah, I
anybody
mean,
gets...
I
All the
can be on watch
randomizers
as
and
well.
Okay. So Agent Pink. Okay. So Agent Pink and Agent Vanguard, you're sort of watching the cameras. Nothing seems to be happening there. And then actually you hear the sound of a sat phone going from the women's dorm, and this wakes you up as well, Agent Hawk. Agent Steward is has just received a call, and you Agent Hawk hear this, but actually it's said loud enough in a quiet. This building's not that large that Steward and Vanguard also hear this. You hear her go, "What? Fucking hell!" And then dressed purely in the t-shirt and knickers she was sleeping in, she rushes out into the main room and starts turning on some screens, and then just starts talking to anyone who's there.
I'll jump out of bed.
And she says, I left the drone observing the Rassam house. There's an assault going on at the Rassam house. And
Currently, do you have any eyes?
This is always
So-
good for a bit of live feed.
so she then works
Get
on
the popcorn.
works on on the computer for a few seconds rather, connects up, and then brings in some feed. It appears the call she just had is from someone operating the drone, and suddenly you're presented with an aerial view of a lot of warm blobs moving around the Rassam household. Oh, sorry, the Rassam outside of the Rassam house, and Agent Pink. I mean, is anyone else being woken up, or are you waking everyone up, or just?
Yeah, can I wake up? I literally, as soon as she said there's a firefight going on, I'm gonna go to the dorms and literally go up.
Right. So all of you says.
something on screen.
So with those of you with significant military experience, what you start watching is a very professional operation. There are about 8 assaulters. They are clearly using night vision because they have got the camera. The camera on the drone is picking up the IR sights, the beams from their
IR lasers.
IR lasers. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. The IR lasers from their rifles as they move tactically through that ISIL encampment. And if I'm right, there were 27 ISIL people there, and you see that they are they must be using silenced weapons because there doesn't appear to be any reaction from people, and they work systematically through, killing almost every single one of them. I mean, killing people they could probably take prisoner, but they do appear to take 2 prisoners from somewhere in the middle of the camp. At a guess, maybe people who were in charge, and they they take out all of the guards around there, and then secure the compound, and then once they've then enter the compound itself, and once they go inside the building, at which point obviously you lose sight of them, but they exit fairly quickly, and then 3 trucks drive up from somewhere from the main road, where the sort of out of sight of where the Reaper drone was. Sorry, not Reaper. The surveillance drone was watching, and they then a couple more people. Well, people get out of these trucks. In total, you count 12 people, 8 assaulters, and then 4 more people in the 3 trucks. And the people from the 3 trucks then seem to go and search around. From observing, they appear to head fairly quickly to the swimming pool and disappear from view in there. And then come out fairly quickly, empty-handed, and then return to the trucks, gather up everyone, and take the 2 prisoners they've taken, and then drive off to the south.
Okay, can the surveillance drone operator track those trucks where they go? Everyone's thinking it.
Yeah.
Actually, what I want to ask is, do we know if there's any American ODA teams in the area? Because American Special Forces operates in 12-man teams, and we just saw a professional Special Forces style takedown done by a 12-person team, essentially.
Okay, good point.
Right.
Did the tactics being observed ask Agent Sandman and
Pink.
I'll also,
But yeah, they do
did
look.
those
It
tactics
is
look like American, the sort of thing that American?
I actually want to see if I
certainly
can
NATO.
identify from the tactics, because I'm their intelligence analyst and I plan these things.
Right. Who has got military science land?
Me.
I believe I do. Let me see.
What scores do you have in military science land?
40.
50.
Hang on, I'll tell you. 60.
60. Right. All 3 of you. A lot of NATO countries use very similar tactics. This is not a NATO country. These are not NATO troops. Based on the way they're maneuvering and so on, your best estimate is that they're Russian.
What surveillance drone we flying? Is it optics good enough to zoom in on? You can get pretty close, so you can look at the gear they're using. The optics are pretty darn good, even in IR.
Right. Okay.
I'm just thinking like the military and thing.
They appear to be using pretty standard AKs, but with high-tech sights and silencers, sights and then silencers mounted on them.
I'm just thinking about the other combat gear that they're wearing, like helmets and other bits and bobs.
They're wearing helmets.
Quite often gives it away.
They are wearing American issue helmets and night vision goggles.
Interesting.
So they So-
unfortunately basically makes it almost impossible to narrow it down because all of those things are things that are easily found on surplus market.
Yeah, could be Merc.
Yeah, but but the tactics are the thing.
Yeah.
As you say,
Yeah.
they
Well
could
drilled.
be, ex-Spetsnaz or current Spetsnaz.
Just to say, by the way, only 8 of them move in military tactics. The 4 who come out the trucks,
Okay.
they are armed and armored. Don't get me wrong, but they are not. They don't. You don't see them move tactically. Maybe they can, but and chose not to. But they didn't, and they seem to then be the people taking the lead on investigating the bunker from off the swimming pool.
Yeah, sounds like a. Okay, that's fine.
And sorry, they then drive back to the road and then head north into Mosul.
You said.
Sorry,
you
I said it
south.
wrong. Apologies, that was incorrect for me. Sorry, I said the wrong thing.
Okay, so
That was
north
it.
to Mosul.
Yeah, but I said south. I said the wrong place. Sorry. They head north towards Mosul, and right, Mark, you asked the question. Give me a luck roll.
Be lucky. Oh, hang on a minute. That's the wrong thing, isn't it? There's luck. Why is my luck? Oh, yeah. It's a separate stat in it.
Yeah. Oh, right. You've the drone follows it back, and they follows them back to a warehouse in southern Mosul, where you as such lose sight of the vehicles when they drive into a warehouse.
Useful. Well, you better keep on station and see what's going on.
Okay,
Because
I think
How
that's a
long
good
have
place
we
to
got
leave
left?
it.
as long as you can, and
Yeah,
as long
that's-
as we can keep hold of the asset, these things are
Mhm.
obviously on the
Okay.
I just want to ask one. Yeah.
Go on, Tom.
How long of flight time remains with that drone, and can we get one to go out to replace it so they play tag team?
With that luck roll, yes.
Fantastic.
Okay.
So we can get someone. Lovely.
Stuart just says, if you require an observation drone somewhere else as well, then that will be pushing the resources we have available. But I could probably get a second drone. Sorry, a second point being observed if needed. But I'm getting this no problem so far. But
Okay.
I can certainly get do some tag operation and ensure there's always one over top.
We don't have any second locations, so let's keep an eye on this location as a primary.
At least for now.
Okay, so you don't want any observation of the Rassam house anymore.
Wouldn't object, but
No, I think stretching the assets a bit thin there, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And more
Okay.
to the point, stretching the favours that we'll be able to get.
And
have
also, it's the
people
next
at a later date.
potential.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a good place to leave it. With what the fuck is going on there? I mean,
Yeah,
it's not as exciting as last time when something started coming out of an amphora. But hopefully it was a good session. Hope you
Hello.
enjoyed that, guys.
No.
It was-
Thoroughly
yeah.
enjoyed it. Thank you.
Okay, right.
Yeah, thank you.
My apologies, I was so distracted at the
Well,
start.
that's
I had a
that's all right.
bouncy spaniel trying to.
No worries. Right, let's say goodbye to anyone who's watching. Thank you for watching. There'll be another episode in a couple of weeks' time. But thank you for watching and goodbye.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye bye.